What's up, y'all? Welcome to another successful Sundays. How are y'all doing? This is Labor Day weekend. As they say, this is the end of the summer. Kids go back to school, or some kids have already been in school. Um, I want to just quickly touch base on this episode, and I want to dedicate this episode to um, a couple of people, those who obviously got injured and lost their life in that school shooting. But I also want to dedicate it to a young lady that also took her life recently after celebrating her 22nd birthday alone and displaying it on social media. And she, unfortunately, reports are showing that she took her life. So I want to dedicate this episode to them. Today, we're talking about how to trust yourself again. And before we get into it, I want to just simply do a quick breathing exercise just to kind of like clear the air, get the good energy coming in. Because all about successful Sundays is having a successful week ahead. So we're going to I invite you to just, close down your eyes. We're going to breathe through our nose and sigh it out through our mouths. But we're going to hold it for 4 seconds when we inhale. When we exhale, we're going to exhale for 6 seconds. All right. So in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Now I want you to relax your jaw, relax your forehead, and wherever you feel tension in your body, we're going to breathe into that part of our body. And we are going to exhale as if we're just cleansing and getting rid of the energy and allowing it to come out. All right. So, again, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Again, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Now, remember, wherever you have that tense feeling in your body right now, I want you to breathe into there, and we're going to exhale and clear it out. So into your nose again and out through your mouth. Yeah. We got to get rid of the tension. A lot of us are need some sort of stress and some sort of anguish. And we're going to a new week, a new month at that. So let's clear it up. So before we get into the topic of, well, while we're in the topic of how to trust ourselves again, I want you to think about this month in August where maybe there was a moment where you didn't feel that you could trust yourself and you had a misstep or something new arised and you felt like you weren't quite doing what you think you should be doing, right? And you're gaining that trust back throughout the process. That's what the episode or the session today, the live session is all about. When we have moments where we have mishaps and we're on like a pretty good trajectory or a pretty good road, and all of a sudden like things just come in because one thing's for sure and two things for certain: no matter where you are in your life, especially if you're in a growth season, a healing season, you will find that the old patterns will come in and kind of test you and try to interrupt your own pattern, your new pattern, the things that you have going on. It'll happen. I feel like it's like the hate energy, the hater, the hater energy, but it may happen, right? And you have to gain a bit of trust back throughout the process as well, because maybe you took a little bit of a step back. But I want you to always think about giving yourself grace in those seasons, giving yourself a moment to understand that you are human. We all have it. I think we all have made, I wouldn't even say mistakes, but we just have moments of old habits trying to creep back in. We have moments of people trying to creep back in, environments. And because we were so used to it in the past, it's like riding a bike again, even with the habits and the situations that we're trying to move away from. So, why do we sometimes lose the trust in ourselves? Well, past mistakes or failures that have happened. But I wouldn't even say they're mistakes too much. I would say they're just, honestly, there were situations that you had to go through to get to where you are today. Like they're just part of the path. You kind of have to go through them. And there's not much that you could do about that. Betrayal by others or even your own choices, you know, a friend or a family member, someone close to you, spouse, coworker betraying you, and you lose yourself, and you have to learn how to like trust yourself again. Overthinking of fear and judgment. I think everybody goes through that one. I think every last one of us have gone through that fear and judgment feeling and always seeking outside validation. Now, I want to pause on that one for a moment because I had a bit of like a thought process on that and how many of us seek it sometimes. And it's almost like when we're doing good, that's a stamp of approval. It's like a report card when or you're getting that sticker at the end of your assignment. It kinda taught us that we need that means that we're doing good, we're doing good, that's the validation we need. When I tell you I had to remove that thought process and unlearn that because I really don't care. Sounds horrible. May sounds, "Oh, hey. Yes, let's get it." Um, sounds horrible. I don't care about what other people think or say about me. I don't look for other people's validations because this kind of goes back into the life that I live of living and loving your dope life. I live and love a dope life of authenticity and ease. And I know that may seem so foreign, and I get a lot of pushback when I say the word ease. Like, how can you live a life of ease in this world? Because I choose to. I chose to. I choose to every day and almost in every moment. I have to because we are noticing that by us living not authentically, by us not living with ease, is directed into our autoimmune diseases, how we take like our health overall. It's linked to so many things now. It's almost like bottled up emotions and energy. And we do this, we bottle it up because of the fact that we're afraid of how other people may think or see us. And I have to say this, the moment you stop giving a fuck at what people think or say about you is the moment you release yourself and you enter such a sense of peace, freedom, and ease. I don't care what people think about me. I don't. And I don't seek validation. And I coach my clients on this to slowly, and it's hard because we're unlearning this, right? Kind of going back to I said when we were a kid, we love to get the mark and put the sticker or the check mark or whatever, the happy face, the validation of, yes, I'm doing good, which is not bad. Like it's not bad, but some of us feed on that, thinking that we need to have that validation. You don't. Because I want to ask yourself, and I'm going to challenge you a little bit. When was the last time you seek that validation within yourself? When was that moment where you just said, yo, you're doing a good job, man? Like, yo, and you celebrated yourself. We don't do it enough. You may have accomplished so many great things this week. And I want you to take a step back and ask yourself, did I actually give myself like, yo, a high five and say, yo, you did it? Did you I celebrate everything you could quite possibly think of. And one of the reasons why I celebrate everything you could think of is because, well, A, I don't share it with everyone because to be honest, some people's energy is just not there, so I choose not to share it. And B, because why wouldn't I in that moment be happy for an accomplishment that I probably been working my ass off to achieve? So touching base onto that one there, seeking validation literally will not get you anywhere. It won't. It won't put you in a life of authenticity, it won't put you in a life of ease, that peace that you talk about, that joy that you've been praying on, manifesting on, it won't bring you there. But when you take a step back and understand we have our own individuality and that we're allowed to be ourselves, when you take a step back and you say to yourself, "Man, honestly, I really don't care what other people think or say, I'm just gonna live my life." That ease comes in even more because you're not wearing this mask every damn day. Or wearing a mask around people. You're just being yourself. Like I have conversation with the elders. I mean, they are older than me, and I always ask people if they're older than me, "What's one piece of advice you can give me?" I give them my age. I say, "What's one piece of advice that you can give me?" And they're like, "Oh, 9 times out of 10 so far, everyone has said, predominantly women, to be honest, have all said, Do the things that you wanna do for yourself, put yourself first, and don't think that it's selfish. And I'm like, "Yo, if you're telling me this and you're 30, 40 years ahead of me, sometimes even 50 years ahead of me, then what am I doing here? I might as well continue on the path I'm on, live a life of ease and peace, don't worry about validation from others, and enjoy the life I have." Moving on. I hope that I want you to start thinking about that validation piece even more. I want you to start really taking a step back and understanding when you're praying, when you're manifesting, when you're talking to your ancestors, they don't need validation. They don't need to validate you. They're there to guide you. They're there to protect you. And when you're speaking with them and then you go out there and you seek validation, you're going against that because they're just telling you, yo, go be free and do what you got to do. We're telling you, we're giving you the signs. Go and do what you got to do. You don't need validation from anybody. You just need to do what you do and stand firm on it. And I think that's another part of it is when you want something in your life and when you want to go after something in your life, you have to believe in it. You have to believe in it. And I'm not even saying you got to own a business and have materialistic things. I'm not saying that. If you really want to have a slow morning every week, like once a week, you got to make sure you're doing that. If you want to work out just for your mental health or lose weight or gain gains, whatever it is, you have to you have to be locked in to do it. If you want to meditate once a day, daily, twice a week, whatever, you got to be locked in and do it. You don't need any outside noise telling you, "Oh yeah, you're doing it, rah rah." You just got to lock in and do it. And that's what I'm saying. You don't need to seek validation from anybody. From anybody. Oh, I'm just looking at my commentary. I'm learning to, yeah, taking the mask off is, I used to work in corporate and I realized I had a mask on when I was around those corporate folks. And I would come home exhausted. And for those who work in anything, I'm sure you have a moment where you have to wear a mask around certain people. And you come home and you just feel so damn exhausted and you're aggravated and you're annoyed. And then you go to vices, whether it's food, whether it's alcohol, whether it's sitting in front of your TV just to kind of like tune out and recharge, which again, I ain't saying nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is alcohol part, obviously, but it's not the most healthiest way. But wearing a mask gets you where? It gets you nowhere. It gets you feeling, yeah, you put on a show all day. You're literally like an actor the entire day, especially working in corporate, 1000%. If and that's part of the reason why I left it, to be honest. But when you're in when you're in those environments, you feel, especially if you're a person of color, if you're a woman at that, you have to like almost you feel as if you should be putting on a mask just to kind of get by, just to be almost sometimes left the hell alone at the same time. So when talk about you being yourself but still showing up, you could still be yourself and you can still show up and be the best at your job. Ain't nobody gonna talk you out of that. But you can still also be authentic, be true. By not wearing that mask every damn day, you're allowing yourself to be in ease. You're allowing yourself freedom. Cause yo, peace is freedom. Like, I don't even know how many years I've been really living in a life of like peace. And why I say that is I'm very intentional about it. I'm very purposeful about it, where I choose peace over everything. And one of the things that stuck to me so much of choosing peace was a lot of deaths that I experienced. And it's not even a whole lot, but there was a lot of key people in my life that passed on. And I kept thinking about when we're in the service and everyone would say, rest in peace. And it irritated me. One thing about me, my critical thinking skills is just like it pops. Any sentence I hear is I'm just like, hmm. And it irritated me because I'm like, okay, that's great. They're resting in peace, but what about living in peace? Why are we so Why are we so on the whole resting in peace? Of course, I want that our souls to be resting in peace, but I couldn't help but thinking about living in peace. And then I took a massive step back. I said, yo, this is going to be my intention moving forward. And I think I was like mid 20s. And I just said, we're just going to start living in peace and ease. And I had to really look at the things that brought me peace and ease. And one of the biggest things that brought me peace and ease was no longer caring about what other people think about me. What they thought, what they said, I just stopped caring. And it's not in a disrespectful kind of way. It's just, it's not my business. Because if a person is talking about you, sometimes they're actually talking about their own insecurities. They're not talking about, who you are. They're just trying to throw jabs at why you should stop doing what you're doing. Because I'm gonna say this, some of the things that you're doing right now threatens people. It threatens them to do something more about themselves. It threatens people to actually make the moves that they know they should be making. So even if some that's why I don't take things so personal. Even if someone's throwing shade at you or they're probably trying to be disrespectful to you, my first thought is, this ain't about me. This ain't about me. This has nothing to do with me because I didn't do anything to disrupt them. All I did was stand here. All I did was make content. All I did was speak a keynote speech. All I did was do a workshop. All I did was coach clients. All I did was live. I just lived and be myself. So it got nothing to do with me. I'm just disrupting their own pattern. My manager once told me when yeah, for real. Nah, it's true because I used to work in film, and I remember right before I left, I had a very odd interaction, and I just took a step back and I said, "Yeah, this ain't for me. I'm glad I'm leaving. I'm glad I'm leaving." And the fact that at that point my mask was slowly coming off, and I actually it wasn't a full interaction, but it was an interaction, and I just said, "Yeah, I'm out. This is one of the reasons why I'm leaving this entire industry, but my primarily why I'm leaving corporate world." But let's get back into trusting ourselves again. So here's a few signs if you feel as if maybe you're not fully trusting yourself and maybe you want to gain a little bit more trust in yourself. And I also want to just mention this will fluctuate. As we go through life in different chapters of our life, whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, it's all a different chapter, it's all a different season. So you constantly second guess your decisions. Also want to add things can disrupt that. Um Friendships, relationships, your job, new habits that you're doing and habits that you're letting go of. The next one is needing permission or reassurance before acting. You know what you should do, but you're second guessing yourself, and you need permission, maybe from somebody else, to say, "Yo, is this? Do you think is which is it's a good like you can bounce ideas off of people, but if you already know what you should be doing, just do it, get it done. Feeling stuck in procrastination, or indecision. I think procrastination is a lot of us are stuck into right now. Just a hot take. I think a lot of us are stuck in procrastination due to distractions. We have a lot of distractions around us nowadays, starting with, of course, social media. I think that's a major distraction. Our phones. I have issues with it as well as a business owner. I'm constantly on my phone. So now I've had to set up systems where my phone's in other rooms. And if it rings, yeah, I got to get up and go get it. It is what it is. And that's that. Or, you know, not taking those moments in the morning of like having the first hour or the first 30 minutes to yourself. And moms and dads and parents, I'm talking to you specifically. You show up every day for your children and or for other dependents, and we still need you to take care of you. And I know it's tricky and I know it's hard, but if there's some ways that you can maybe get up earlier to do it, 10 minutes, even if you can just dedicate 10 minutes to yourself, please do it. We need you to also take care of you. Patriarchs of the family, specifically talking to y'all, we need you to take care of you. We need you to be there. And it's not even like we need you and like it's pressure. We just need you to start taking care of yourself because we love you. Just want to add that in there. Ignoring your own intuition, even if it's right. So women obviously have women intuition. We know, right? And sometimes it could be linked to anxiety as well. And I know like that could be a feeling, but sometimes we know that gut feeling. If something don't feel right, something don't feel right. I was thinking about the other day where I was approached by an organization and it gave a very much of like a cult type vibe. And my mother always told me, trust your gut. If it kind of feels like that, you know, swerve. So I swerved. I swerved real quick. And I was happy that I did because I think I'm kind of right on that one. But yeah, don't ignore ignoring your own intuition. So here's a few steps of how you can trust yourself again. Sorry, I'm just taking a sip of my coffee here. And these are practical steps that you can start taking right now. If you have a pen, you have a paper, you have a notepad on your phone, open it up. Let's get into it and start also making notes of how it connects with you. Acknowledge your past wins. Remind yourself of the times that you made the right call. We tend to place a lot of weight on the negative, on the things we've done wrong, right? But out of the one thing that you've done wrong, there's probably like 50 things you did right. Right? Out of the one mistake that you made, you probably made, like, amazing strides in other areas, but we weigh so much weight on that one mistake that we made, but what about the stuff that you did do good? So, write down in your notepad, what are some of the things that you did do good this week? I know there's some mistakes you probably made you can remember so quick. What are some of the things that you did do good this week? The next one is keep small promises to yourself or non negotiables, as I like to call them as well. Start with micro commitments. I cannot stress this enough. You do not need to, let's say you're going through a healing journey. You want to start a healing journey. You want to start shifting your mindset, self improvement. You do not need to overhaul your entire life. I did that when I first started my self improvement journey over like I don't even know what year I'm on now. I lost count. Early 20s, I remember. And I was like, this is before social media really took off. So I was on the internet just, oh, this is great. They said this person said try this. And I tried to overhaul my entire life with all these habits and all these activities. And I failed miserably. Thank God I did. And I say thank God that I did because then it allowed me to take a step back and do micro habits. Micro habits are your jam. They're your thing, where you just start off slowly. I want you to think about if you were to go to the gym right now and pick up a 100-pound dumbbell. Now, personally, I can't pick up no 100-pound dumbbell at the moment, but if I tried, I would struggle. But if I worked with a 5 pound, a 10 pound, okay, five I could pick, but I'm just giving an example 5 pound, a 10 pound, 15, 20, and you every day, you're just increasing, or every week, you're increasing the pounds that you pick up. Eventually, maybe you can work up to that 100 pound. That's my point here. Micro habits are the thing. You do not need to overhaul your entire life with a whole bunch of habits that you know it's gonna make you turn away from you healing, from you having that mindset shift, from you self-improving or even going through your personal development journey. Listen to your inner voice. Practicing pausing and checking in with yourself before checking or responding to others. You could leave things on read. I want to start with that. You can leave messages on read. You can leave emails on read. You don't have to reply right away. You can give yourself a moment to pause. Pausing is, I would have to say, have saved me multiple times of probably having extreme uncomfortable conflict. And I say that because when you take a massive step back and you pause, you get to go through the whole sense of the emotions where, and I have a way you could do it. It's reframe, question. It's question the thought, reframe the thought, and then you act on the thought, right? Like you have to question it first. What is true? What is what is true here? How can you reframe it? And what's the action you could take? When you take a moment and you slow down the process, and you take a massive step back, it helps a lot. I did it too. It was too much. I was getting pushed. Yeah, I do. Yep, self check-ins are amazing. I self check in, if not every day when I'm in my car or the moment I get up. I allow myself that energy, and you could do it in many ways. You could journal, and I want to preference by when I say this, not everybody needs to journal. Not everyone needs to. And I know it's like a everyone tells you I've recommended it because journaling did save my life multiple times. And I have about like 4 or 5 journals over the last 5 years. Um, you don't have to. You could do audio journaling where we have these amazing devices that we scroll on. Do you know that there's a recorder on it? You could do audio journaling. You could do video journaling. And you could create a file in your photos that's locked. And that could just be your journal. Just saying. You could even do where you talk and it texts it out on your notepad in your phone. I use that all the time for my keynote speeches. Saves me a lot of time. We have technology and we can use it for our wellness and mental health. And I'm a massive fan of using it for yeah, yeah, audio journaling. I'm a massive fan of using it for our mental health because this yeah thing, yeah, this brain of mine, I'm always gonna take care of it as much as I can. As much as I can. And going back, I will never allow anyone to try to come and disrupt my peace in here. Not gonna happen. Yeah, mud. Um, um, the 4th one is detach yourself from perfection. Perfectionism is how should I put it? It is killing a lot of us as humans because we strive for perfection, but there's no such thing as perfect. In fact, I rather have and I know we crack jokes. So here in Canada, we have a place called Tim Hortons. They do this thing when they have smile cookies for a camp that they basically buy the cookie and donations go to the camp or something like that. Anyways, now the workers have to put the damn smile on the cookies, and sometimes the smiles is not perfect, and that's life. Some people be like, "Oh, this one's not I don't care. It's going in my belly. It tastes good. Toss me the cookie." That's life. We have to release ourselves from perfectionism. Recently, this lady it worked in my favor, though, but recently I was at a bakery, and this I was picking up something for someone else, and I'm like, "I really want that, but that's okay, I'll just choose this one." She gave it to me for free because it didn't look good enough. When I tell you it tastes fine, so my point is and I'm using food because I'm a May Taurus and I love food. My point is, just because it doesn't look perfect doesn't mean that it's not a good life. Just because your life doesn't look like sunshine and rainbows doesn't mean, like, it's not a life worth living. It's not a life that you should be proud of and be happy to be in. There's people who have the Instagram and TikTok and social media worthy life, and they're still unhappy, and they still have a black heart. We don't know how they gain this, and it don't it's not you know what I'm saying? Like, they wish they may have your life of peace and ease and not have to worry about nothing. I'm just saying, remove yourself from the thought process of perfectionism and allow yourself with ease and love and joy, because that's where it all is. Not me making you laugh. For real, for real. Alright, and last but not least, protect your energy. This is important. Start surrounding yourself around people and environments that who affirm and not doubt start surrounding yourself around people in your environments that support you and love you and care for you, show you compassion and kindness. You don't wanna be around people who you almost have to prepare yourself to be around them. You wanna be around people that you're excited to see them. Or you don't have to like, "All right, look, this is the breakdown of such and such is how we're gonna do, and we're gonna cut at this time." And I get it, sometimes you have no choice, and it's good to have those boundaries too and have those plans, but you wanna be around people that surround you with that love, that kindness and compassion that you give others, that energy that you give others. It's important for you to be around that, especially when you're starting to trust yourself again, especially when you're in your healing journey, your mindset journey, your self-improvement, your personal development journey. This you have to be your environment needs to mirror where you're trying to go. And it's going to take time. It's not going to happen like on a whim. It does take time, but it's good to have your environment to match that. And I know people say, "Well, I don't have that." Well, then you build that environment to have that. You build your own environment to have that peace, that love, compassion, and joy, and that ease, and that freedom. So, quick exercise. I want you to write down one decision that you're proud of and one small promise that you can keep keep this week. Just one decision you're proud of, one small promise you're going to keep for this week. So remember, trusting yourself, it's a journey. It's not like an automatic snap of the finger. It's not a switch. It's not going to happen overnight. Not going to happen. And you've already survived probably many hard days, many hard problems, many difficult moments, and you're going to survive some more. So, trusting yourself takes time. Give yourself grace, and you got this. I want to thank you for all of you who dropped in on my live, and I want to thank you for watching this live, and I hope it helped you out. And I hope, of course, and I pray that you have a successful and dope week ahead. And you know what to do. I'll see you on Tuesday for the Dope Life Podcast episode. I'll see you next week, Sunday, as well. And you know what to do, y'all. Walk with peace, walk with love.